Contemporary musical theater is a genre shared by all nations and all social classes, and this is because there are many different races and cultures and nations which are involved in musical theater, and it is not restricted to one social class. There are people from poor backgrounds, from rich backgrounds, there are professionals which perform musical theater, and there are amateurs. It really does not matter what social class you are from. The very beginning of musical theater and its first foundations came from ancient Greece and Rome, and this was a time when music and dance were included in stage comedies and dramas, but not really musical theater as we view it today. This was more just music and dance in a very broad sense being included into performances for entertainment purposes. The examples of this were mystery plays or biblical reenactments and pageant wagons, or stages on wheels where performers would travel from place to place putting on their production. During the Renaissance era and into the 19th century in Europe, different forms of musical theater arose, such as ballad operas, or operas focusing on the most popular music of the day, and comic operas, which were more focused on humor. Also, there were melodramas, burlettas, and operettas. The first recorded long-running play of any kind was The Beggar's Opera in 1728, and a picture of this is shown on the right side by William Hogarth. In America, specifically, the first original theater piece, which could be classified as a musical, is considered The Black Crook, which premiered in 1866. Modern musical theater, and what it is defined as today in the contemporary world, is a theatrical performance involving song, dance, acting, and spoken dialogue. And what makes musical theater different from opera and ballets is that there is an equal importance given to the music, the dialogue, and the movement or the dance and choreography. The modern Western musical theater emerged during the 19th century, but the most famous and iconic musicals began forming in the later half of the 20th century after the Great Depression. The 1940s and the 1960s are really what's considered the golden age of musical theater because many hits were produced by individuals such as Irving Berlin and Rodgers Hammerstein during this time. And these producers can be seen in the picture on the left. This golden age was really it presented a revolutionized concept of musical theater in which all aspects of performance were tightly woven together with a distinct plot and with songs and dance that actually advanced the plot and developed the characters. The Golden Age was a period of encouragement towards societal tolerance and racial harmony, and this was very much incorporated into the productions of the time. Oklahoma is an example of a production put on during the Golden Age and produced during the Golden Age. It was the first musical written by Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein, which were seen in the image in the previous slide. It was a box office hit and received a Pulitzer Prize, and it greatly contributed to the revolution of musical theater because it was no longer just dancing showgirls performing the music and dance part of the play. There was actually the characters were developed in the songs and the dance, and the storyline was positively influenced by the music and the dance. So here's a clip of Hugh Jackman singing "Oh What a Beautiful Morning" from the opening scene of Oklahoma.
There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye, and it looks like it's climbing clear up to the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. All the cattle are standing like statues. Hey! All the cattle are standing like statues. They don't turn their heads as they see me ride by. But our little brown maverick is winking her eye. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Can't tell her. Nice!
So continuing on with the Golden Age, another example of a production produced during this time was West Side Story, and this is a modern-day Romeo and Juliet set in New York City. And although it didn't get the greatest reviews by critics and by the public, several elements of it signified a turning point for American musical theater, including its dark theme and its focus on social problems, and this is something that hadn't really been seen before in musical theater. This play also promoted racial harmony and tolerance, which also emphasizes the point that the writers of this time really incorporated what was going on around them into their productions. Jerome Robin, the original choreographer of this production, won a Tony Award for his work, so West Side Story really has amazing dance and choreography in it. More recently, from the 1970s to the present, musical theater has really taken twists and turns over the decades to become what it is today. In the 1970s, audience members welcomed musicals that pushed boundaries and varied from usual styles. Many shows during this time brought a significant African American influence to Broadway, including Dreamgirls and The Wiz. In the 1980s, European mega musicals or pop operas had great influence on American Broadway, and these were pop-influenced musicals that had a pop score and large casts and sets with notable effects. Andrew Lloyd Webber is a very famous British composer, and he became prominent during this time, and he is known for Cats and Phantom of the Opera and many other very famous Broadway musicals. And here's a clip of Cats, and this is Memory, and it is one of the most popular songs from this musical.
Memory, turn your face to the moonlight, let your memory lead you. Open up, enter in. If you find there the meaning of what happiness is, then a new life will begin. Sunlight through the trees in summer, endless masquerading, like all color as the dawn is breaking, the memories fading. Talk to me, it's so easy to leave me
Continuing on to the 1990s, this was a time where large corporations began to greatly influence musicals, and an example of this is the Walt Disney Company adapting animated films for stage such as Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King. So it was really during the 1990s where large corporations with lots of wealth began to dominate the musical theater Broadway industry. So coming into the 2000s and where we're at today, familiarity is embraced in the revival of hits over the centuries, and taking risks on the production of original musicals is rare and it's pretty discouraged, but an example of an original musical made in more modernly in the 2000s is Thoroughly Modern Millie, and I actually saw this being performed in at BYU Hawaii, and I really enjoyed it and I really like this musical. So nowadays, corporate sponsors really dominate Broadway, and on the left is an image of Disney's The Lion King on Broadway, and this is actually one of the largest grossing musicals ever to be made. Some more examples of contemporary musicals are Les Mis, which is based on the novel by Victor Hugo, and it has themes of forgiveness and equality. It is the 5th longest running show in Broadway history, and has also been nominated for 12 Tony Awards and has won 8 of them. And this is a really, really amazing musical, and I think a lot of people know that it's been adapted into a film recently. Jersey Boys is another contemporary musical, and this is a jukebox musical, and this means that it has minimal plot but with a collection of already well-known songs. And this musical is a documentary-style format based on the band, the Four Seasons, and their journey, eventually leading to their breakup. Now, I'm going to perform live a little bit of Les Mis, and I'm going to sing just a little bit of I Dreamed a Dream. So here it is. I dreamed a dream in times gone by, when hope was high and life worth living. I dreamed that love would never die. I dreamed that God would be forgiving. But the tigers come at night, with their voices soft as thunder, as they tear your hopes apart, as they turn your dreams to shame. He slept a summer by my side, he filled my days with endless wonder. So that's just a little clip of it, and me singing it live. Finally, a summary of this presentation is that musical theater is performed by many cultures and many social classes in large budget to low budget productions. The beginnings of musical theater derived from ancient Greece and Rome and were greatly influenced and developed through the Renaissance era of Europe. So the 1940s and the 1960s were the golden age, and they defined musical theater as a specific genre which equally incorporated music, dancing, and acting. And since the 1970s to the present day, musical theater has become a prominent part of Western culture and has developed into a franchise greatly affected by large corporations and sponsors.